there and welcome back to my channel. So this is the second spinner video for my reading challenge, track by track, which is a mixtape decluttering prompt challenge. And it's me clearing my shelves exactly like a playlist because I'm obsessed by music and I'm obsessed by books. So welcome if you're new. If you've been here before, I'm so glad you've come back for another go. And if you like what you see, please feel free to like, subscribe, do the YouTubey things. You can find here reading journaling, you can find book reviews. Obviously I'm doing my year-long reading challenge to try and, because I've had this read and move on pile for the best part of the last decade, and I've decided that this year that is enough. I am making it go away. So hopefully you're going to want to join me on that journey. I hope so. It's going to be fun. So this is part 2. I will link the playlist that has the part 1 videos down below if you need or want to catch up. But to be brutally honest, you can pick it up from wherever, but obviously if you want to see it from the beginning so you can see how many books I started with, what I started with and how I carried on, then the videos will be down there for you to go back and watch if you so wish. So I am going to go and find my spinner wheel, which has my prompts on it, and then we can have a look and see what's going to come up this time. So let's press the play on the spinner wheel, and then I will choose the books in relation to what the prompts are. So, oh, there's the spinner wheel. So the spinner wheel for you will, I'm looking down because my phone, but obviously it will come up here for you along with any book covers. Okay, so the first one is Soft Spotlight. So for Soft Spotlight, I was choosing something that I loved, something that was, because I've changed my reading tastes quite a bit. It was something I wanted to do that was different, that wasn't different, that was back to what I was reading before. And I decided that I wanted, for this one, I decided to read the Meryl Streep Film Club. So I'm going to be reading that. Book covers will come up here. The reason that I do that is because I tend to move my hands quite a lot, so I don't hold the books up, just because people were tending to get a bit seasick because I couldn't hold the book still. So you will get a picture of the book come up here. But the Meryl Streep Book Club, movie club rather, goodness me, I can't even read the title. Let's go and find a synopsis that tells me what this book is about. So this book is by Mia March and it was published in 2012. So basically I'm just reading the blurb for you because I haven't read it yet, so I don't know what it's about. So I bought it because it was Meryl Streep and I quite like Meryl Streep. And also there's a new Devil Wears Prada, well there was a Devil Wears Prada film that came out. So it was kind of nice to read this at the same time as when the film, in the same year the film came out. I've seen the film. I'm now going to want to read this book. So escape to the breathtaking coast of Maine and let the unmissable novel from Mia March brighten up your summer. Perfect for fans of Jenny Colgan, Veronica Henry and the Jane Austen Book Club, and they're all ones that I would have read, I want to say, in my previous life, before I found romantasy and all that jazz. On the coast of Maine sits the Three Captains Inn, a haven for tourists and locals alike. When Lolly, the owner, summons her nieces home, they assume she's planning to sell the inn, the place that they called home after they lost their parents in a car accident that also claimed the life of Lolly's husband. Little do they know that the truth is far more unimaginable. Along with Kat, Lolly's daughter, the women reunite for their first summer together in many years, and home truths and long-buried secrets begin to emerge. Then movie lover Lolly invites her family to one of her legendary movie nights, this month's theme, Meryl Streep, and what was intended to be a few hours distraction ends up making them question everything they thought they knew about life and each other. As each woman sees her complicated life reflected through the magic of cinema, Will they be able to find their own happily ever afters before it's too late? I've read a lot of Jenny Colgan and Veronica Henry, and to be brutally honest, I'm looking forward to this because it's a Meryl Streep movie club, and to be honest, I'm in a little bit of a reading slump at the moment, so having something that's a little bit comfortable is not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, so that's the first choice. So we will spin again. So the second one is Mirrorball Mood. So I found that with a lot of the choices that we're making through this video, that we're going to be reading a lot of more books that I read in my past life rather than what I'm totally interested in now. So for this one I chose Since You've Been Gone, which is a book by Anuska Knight. So this is actually a reread because I read it probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and it's been, I'm just looking for the blurb, and it's been, because it won an award, and that intrigued me at the time, and I was very much a romance reader at that point. So I am reading that one again to see if I can relive the 5-star review that it gave, and whether it brings back takes me out of my reading slump. So the blurb of the book, because I can remember it, but I don't think I'd be able to do it justice, so I'm just going to read the blurb. So the blurb to the book is, so it was the winner of the Mills and Boon and ITV's Lorraine search for the next big thing in contemporary women's fiction. In one tragic moment, Holly Jefferson's life as she knew it changed forever. Now to the external world, at least she's finally getting back on her feet, running her business Cake. Then she meets Kieran Argyle. His charmed life feels a million miles away from her own. However, there's more to Kieran than the superficial world that surrounds him, and he too is wrestling with his own ghosts. Will Holly find the missing ingredient that allows her to love again, or to live again rather, not love again, live again, and embrace an unknown and unexpected tomorrow? How do you learn to love again? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Even though this one obviously won an award, Anuska Knight did go on to write a few more books afterwards. So it might be that if that's really enjoyable the second time round, that I will read other books by her. So yeah, so that's our second book of the spins. So we'll go back and find the spinning wheel and see what's going to come up next. Oh, it's always some excitement when there's a spin going on. Okay, so this one was Pastel Pulse. So for this one I decided to choose a book that had pastel-y colours on the cover. And this is another reminiscent one because I chose The Knitting Diaries by Debbie Macumber. Probably about 10 years ago I read loads of Debbie Macumber. She was the one that I would literally, she got me back into reading. I would literally chain read them. But, you know, obviously I'd moved on, I'd read other things. But I still fondly remember them. But she also wrote this book called The Knitting Diaries. It's 3 short stories, which I'm not a big fan of short stories, but particularly written with 2 other authors. But the Debbie Macumber one is using characters that I saw in another series, so I am somewhat really interested to see what comes out of it. I'm just trying to see if I can find the blurb, because all of these books are in the pile, so I'm almost trying not to manoeuvre the pile too much, because otherwise it just tends to fall over, so we're not going to try and do that too much. So the blurb here is, okay, so it says A Handmade Happy Ever After. So the 21st Wish, this is the one that I'm looking forward to because it's the Debbie Macumber one that has the characters in that I know. Anne-Marie Roche and her adopted daughter, 10-year-old Ellen, have each written a list of 20 wishes. At the top is learning to knit. Like many of their wishes, it's come true, but Ellen has quietly added a 21st wish, that her mum will fall in love. The second book is called Coming Unravelled, When Broadway doesn't give Robin Mulligan her big break, she packs her bags and heads home. I do apologise that the sun is going down behind us because I'm doing this at a really late hour of the day. Helping her grandmother run the knitting shop is more rewarding than she thought, but the customers seem more interested in matchmaking than knitting. And then we have Return to Summer Island. After a devastating accident, Caro McNeil recuperates on sleepy Summer Island. Welcomed by a community of knitters, she finds healing, exchanging letters with a local Marine serving in Afghanistan. She finds a purpose. Will Caro follow her heart wherever it takes her? So again, it's more sort of fluffy romance. There's a knitting part in it, and obviously I really love to knit. I am doing a knitted scarf, which is doing colours depending on the genres that I'm reading. You can follow my progress to that on Instagram, because that's where I'm going to be putting that in the meantime. I say I'm a little bit behind on posting it, but I have been knitting it throughout the year. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that one to see how it sits. So we need one more book. So let's spin for the last one. Okay, so we've got Warm Glow. So for this one, I've picked a book which was recommended to me by a couple of people. So hopefully it's going to give me warm feelings. It is quite fluffy romance again. Picture will come up here. And it's called The Happy Glampers by Daisy Tate. I'm just trying to see if I can find a synopsis. There we go, found it. It is a 2000 and apparently they've re-released it this year. The one that I'm reading is an older version, but they've rehashed it with a different cover this year. Okay, so a warm, witty and endless wise story. That's Cressida McLaughlin, and I do like Cressida McLaughlin. Full of heart, I love fabulous friendships, Jo Thomas. I have read a lot of her in the past. And what a great book, I loved it. And that was Debbie Macumba. So, you know, you've got to give this a try. So, is friendship meant to last forever? Charlotte Mayfield hopes so, especially as she's throwing some luxury glamping into the mix. After 15 years of trying to be the perfect wife, maybe Charlotte's best friends from uni, Freya, Emily and Izzy, can still glimpse the woman she'd once set out to be. Freya is up for it. Could a powwow with her yesteryear besties help her knock some sense into her useless husband? Emily's hiding her own crisis from her parents, colleagues and now her mates. Can a weekend under canvas get her to open up? Izzy's back from a decade abroad with an unexpected addition, her 9-year-old daughter Flora. She's also keeping another big secret, and that's one that's brought her home for good. Will a year of yurts mend 2 decades of hurt? Or are some things, like shower blocks, burnt sausages and no Wi-Fi, best left in the past? So that sounds like it's going to be quite interesting. So I'm actually really looking forward to reading all 4 of those. So what will happen is I will go and read them, and then I will vlog about reading them, and I will come back and share my thoughts with you. As I said, if you want to see the first part, then they will be linked down below. Thank you for spending this time with me if you're still here. If you're new, thank you for coming. If you've been here before, thank you very much for coming back. And I will look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care.